I'm Reece Stein at your leisure in the footsteps of Lewis and Clark on Lemhi Pass, where on August 12, 1805, the Corps of Discovery first crossed the Continental Divide. August and Krista came all the way from Austria to paddle the Missouri, just as Lewis and Clark did 208 years ago. They take out at Judas Landing in the Missouri Breaks, the National Historic Site of the Corps of Discovery's camp, on May 28, 1805. Clark named it for his fiancée back in Virginia.
Very hot, very muddy. The fishing was not so good.
Other than that, it was a great trip, huh?
Yes, but out of that, it was a fantastic trip. The landscape is fantastic.
Well, not up for a 4-day canoe trip. We drive the dirt roads through the rocky badlands of the Breaks, dropping down a steep grade to the McClellan-Stafford Ferry across the Missouri, where we had to call for the ferrymaster. Come and get us. We're over here. Tom Philp operates the free ferry as part of the county road system. He spends 3.5 days a week out here by himself. This country looked pretty much like it did when Lewis and Clark came through here?
Other than the roads and stuff, I would guess, yeah. Well, actually, the next 50 miles, there is absolutely nothing other than there's some roads that come down to campgrounds.
Yeah, but pretty dramatic cliffs and scenery along here?
Oh, yeah, a lot like this right here. And then you get up above here, it's probably prettier than below here.
Upstream, we explore crystal clear Giant Springs State Park, first seen by William Clark June 18, 1805. It may just be the largest spring in the country, feeding the world's shortest river, the 200-foot-long road that discharges 1,800 gallons of spring water per second into the Missouri near the Great Falls. On June 13th, Lewis and Clark became the first white men to see the falls. As depicted in the nearby interpretive center, it took them over a month using makeshift wagons to portage the 18 miles around the Cascades. Heading further upstream, we pick up a 2-hour tour through a rocky gorge of limestone cliffs towering 1,200 feet above the Missouri. On July 19th, Lewis entered this daunting canyon he would call the Gates of the Mountains. The name stuck. Eagles monitor our passage, while the captain points out rock formations, Indian pictographs, and important sites, including Man Gulch, where 13 firefighters died in the 1949 blaze made famous in Norman Maclean's short story, Young Men and Fire. 90 miles upstream, families frolic and fish at historic Three Forks, now a Montana State Park. When Lewis and Clark got here on July 27, 1805, they determined this was as far up the Missouri as they could get, and they named these two principal tributaries the Jefferson for their president and the Madison for their Secretary of State. The third tributary further downstream they named for Secretary of Treasury Gallatin. Still a favorite among fly fishermen, its entire 120-mile length to its beginnings in Yellowstone Park. 16 miles up a windy dirt road takes us to a tiny spring just below Lemhi Pass. Here we can, as one of Lewis's men said, bestride the seemingly endless Missouri. They were 2,300 miles, 1 year, 2 months, 30 days from St. Louis. Half a mile further on is 7,400-foot Lemhi Pass, where on August 12th, Lewis became the first white man to see today's Idaho and the wall of high peaks ahead, dashing his hopes of finding a water route to the Pacific. At Lolo Hot Springs near present-day Missoula, 100-plus degree water flows from beneath these rocks, and we enjoy a relaxing soak in the same soothing waters where Lewis and Clark bathed on September 13, 1805, and again on their return trip the following year. We head west following a short stretch of the 200-mile-long Lolo Trail. The route of the Corps of Discovery struggled across the Bitterroot Mountains for 8 days in 1805. But maybe our favorite experience is this trail up Alice Creek that Meriwether Lewis took on his return trip in 1806. No road here. It's a nearly 2-mile, 1,000-foot uphill hike through fields of gorgeous wildflowers and spectacular vistas. A sandhill crane ignores our passing as it grazes the lush meadows. Along the trail, the Forest Service has identified travois drag marks, which pay homage to the hundreds of years Nez Perce Indians used this trail to eastern buffalo hunting grounds. The trail tops out at 9,400 feet, crossing the Continental Divide and the Montana state line. It's called Lewis and Clark Pass, but Clark was never here. He went south. Lewis and his party crossed here on their return trip July 7th, 1806. Miles from any development, this place must look just as wild and pristine today as when Lewis passed here in 1806. That realization just enhances the experience.
It's a special place to be. We read about it, the hike has been wonderful, and the weather's been good for us. Easy to get to, so I recommend it to anybody who wants to try it.
Reece on the Lewis and Clark Trail in Montana.